Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to the Summit 5 qualifiers. We're here in the quarterfinals. It's going to be Team Freedom facing off against EnemyGG, and it's going to be a great one. Lyrical Dota joined today by MotPax. Sir, how you doing? You excited about this game here?
Yeah, third series of the night. Time to close it on out, and we're going to have the IX Mike crew, Team Freedom Dota versus BSJ, and his little squad of goons. These guys have been together for a while. And I was just caught them over on Canada Cup the other night versus the what was their old name? View 6/Drinking Boys. They got some name changes going on. I believe that was Evernova without the S, who might not be currently sponsored anymore. But didn't go too well from them. They got at 0-2, but they just 2-0'd Evernova S actually over in Pro Dota Cup just about 3 days ago. So looking good, and now we get that NA Elder Titan. You were bringing that up earlier, and finally he makes an appearance.
Yeah, in conjunction with the Lifestealer, we saw a couple of interesting bans that came out early here, as it was the Enchantress, the Beastmaster, Huskar, and the Axe, followed up by the first pick, Doom, Lifestealer, Elder Titan, and now the Puck. Pretty early on, and they're actually going to ban out that Abaddon as well. So the teams obviously knowing each other fairly well from playing a lot of NA Dota together, and this does mean that you get somewhat different picks than you would normally see. The other one that I kind of like the Lifestealer a little bit more. Before BSJ was running the Troll Warlord kind of consistently, and that one I didn't love quite as much as what I've seen here out of this Lifestealer.
Yeah, they seem to have more success. At least the games look more stable when I've seen them with that Lifestealer rather than the Troll Warlord. That was both games, I think, Canada Cup. Did not go too well. So swap back over to the old bread and butter for them and combined up with that Elder Titan. So he's an interesting hero right now. It's kind of funny that he's coming back in an era where it's mostly like strength cores, where like before it was all about like those minus armor heroes, or like heroes with the base armor, right? When you're trying to deal with the Morphling or the Terror Blade, you just totally eliminate all of their defensive capabilities. But he still helps, still gets rid of the armor that these strength heroes will have. Try and chomp through them as much as you can, and some of the setups with the Spirit are pretty sick too.
Yeah, I would agree. One of the best ways that I've seen it is like a safe lane Slardar. We're obviously not going to be seeing that. They could go off lane if they wanted to, and that's kind of strong as well, because you can get like the Blink Crush into Echo Stomp, and it's just incredibly powerful how much damage you're able to do there, and get a good amount of control as well. So already looking like it's going to be very team fight centric, and Doom, one of the best heroes at being able to interrupt that type of stuff if it does come out. I'm kind of curious to see where he ends up going here, if it's going to be that 4 position or the 3 position.
Yeah, that could depend on what gets banned out here by EnemyGG. Removing that Abaddon so that we're not going to be having that heading off into the off lane. I think that makes a lot of sense. We all know that IX Mike loves to run it, and that would certainly open up the Doom into that 4-role position instead. Already pretty open draft. Like, you have the Puck in the mid lane, so won't need any help. That's always nice. You don't have to be looking at some sort of a defensive support for like rotations or anything, where you're expecting, like, you never know what they're going to throw mid at this point for EnemyGG. They even have the last pick, so getting something like this Puck that can't theoretically like really be totally beat in mid is a really nice thing to get when you've got that second pick.
Absolutely. And I think that's kind of maybe you try and save your last pick for Team Freedom, a hero that can roam into that area and make something happen. But yeah, the Bat Rider was banned. Also going to see the Phoenix taken out of there and that Dragon Knight. Neither side really giving away a ton of what their draft is going to consist of as of yet. You can see that the pieces are starting to form, but you can kind of run the Lifesteal in a lot of ways. If they wanted to take something with a Blink Initiator, or possibly even thinking about going along the lines of like a Blink Hero and the Quap in the mid lane or something, you could get. I've seen a lot of teams run the Lifestealer and Fest Bombs with a Quap. It's incredibly high amount of damage.
Yeah, that's true. Some sort of a mobile hero is always very handy. I know they've done, I believe, Tinker they did once too.
Okay.
From EnemyGG, so already not looking too good with the Doom and the Puck, but something to keep in mind in terms of those movable mids. They've done Blink TA as well. Couple different options for them. Their Invoker is actually still in there, which was another hero they were picking up a lot of the time to throw into that mid lane. You'd be up against a Puck. You wouldn't be like, there's no initial hero like a Bounty Hunter or anything, at least not yet picked up, that you have to worry about. Could be good for Freedom if they wanted to go that off-lane Doom and head back into a position for Bounty. Could be a nice little pickup for them.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nice. Ooh, Weaver. So gonna exploit the fact that Lifestealer doesn't have a great way to deal with him until you start getting enough farm up, and honestly, you're probably not gonna want to go Abyssal on Lifestealer anyways. So this is a pretty nice option for them. I like it a lot, and already the Disruptor, it's somewhat good at being able to mess with what they're throwing out there, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I like the Weaver pick.
Yeah, I'm actually just seeing now. It looks like they played a very similar game versus the Dragon Slayers, aka Dragneil, where they went Doom, Puck, Weaver, and they finished off with that Bounty Hunter we talked about and a Lich just for the minus armor. But it was also up against the Lifestealer, which is kind of important because you're thinking about this like physical damage coming in and trying to slow down that. So if they were to pick up maybe another melee core, I could see them actually going back to a Lich. Maybe they run it in like a dual offlane scenario. I'm not sure. Probably.
I mean, they could do it with Doom.
Lane.
I mean, Doom could be that position 3 that goes with the Lich. That was that build. I mean, we saw that
was
lane
the thing,
so
man. Like,
often.
Yeah, that was a hell of a lane to try and deal with.
And while you still did get some changes since then, it's still pretty hard to go against, I think. And, the ice armor there, keeping him up and good to go. The only question I would have then is, what's your initiation outside of the Puck? Do you really need it? They do go back for the Slardar, though. And this is, again, what I was talking about, having that Slardar on the offlane with the ET to follow it up.
I think I'd like just like a Lion to finish this off. Would be the perfect hero to me for EnemyGG. Oh, wait, they have the Elder Titan. Right. That guy's not a core these days. And there's the Lich, so that makes sense. See another melee, go, yep, we're doing the same thing we've already done. They won the game, so I'll go back for it once more. So they've got that. They need stun, vision. It should be interesting mid laner. Yeah, all right, see, they got their Dota buff page open. Yeah, the Tinker would have been a good pick.
Let's see.
Lich, Puck, Dota.
Taking care of a few admin things, if you wouldn't mind
please,
filling in.
Don't worry.
All right, I'll let you pontificate.
I should probably talk about all these things running through my head. It should just be probably the 4 roll, judging by the way they did it before. Like, that Bounty Hunter ban was good, but with the Bounty Hunter gone, I think that was their ideal situation. You're looking at offlane Slardar. Can you force him out with just a Lich? Probably. Oh,
Whoa.
yo, that is some freedom Dota if I've ever seen it in my life. So this is the offlane Omni Knight. With the possibly Doom hanging out down there, I'd say with them like on and off again, maybe.
Yeah.
Now you start thinking about some sort of like diffusal blade. You could go Mirana mid. Actually, I think that's the build. Yeah.
Really?
I don't know. You get a diffusal blade, get it for up against the Omni Knight. You get the Aghanim Scepter now that you can build into that. You get the double value. Do they pick? They used to pick Mirana. They picked. Oh, PL actually. That's way better. Yeah, they should just go PL. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. Well, PL kind of sucks against Puck, but it'll do.
That is sort of the question, I guess, then, is which is the Fusel Blade carrier that you want to go for? Is there anybody else that they could pick that... There's nobody that naturally purges. Like,
10 seconds.
I guess that they're thinking that it's going to be... What is going on? I don't know what this draft is, man.
No, this is good because you're reading this and you're seeing it's all defensive. Like, you're rather than thinking about the route of going Diffusal Blade and you're like... Okay, we got to deal with this Guardian Angel somehow. Like, what are we going to do? The overall damage from Freedom's not actually that high. You look at Puck, Doom, Weaver. Like, Weaver, of course, he's the big hitter, but
Right.
Lich and Omni Knight can't contribute that much. It's a good game to just pick up this Alchemist, throw him in the mid lane, get him nice and mega farmed, and, like, how are they going to be able to bring him down with the backup here from, like, the Slardar and then the Elder Titan?
It's an IX Mike Omni Knight.
Yeah, man. Offlane Mike. This is
All
his
right.
thing.
I didn't know that was his thing, man.
Come on, man.
I don't watch his stream all that often. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll see.
This is where you get the real knowledge, dude. You
Okay.
gotta get in there. Gotta get down in the dirty. The NA Dota.
All right, well, I'll be sure
Think
to
of it like
do
a
that.
bad.
Okay, all right, I can see that. And I guess then is he going to have somebody down there with him? We talked about the Lich being a part of that. So do we see Jubei move down towards that side of the map as well?
Prepare.
Probably Big Bad Bird. Doom on the. Ooh,
Interesting.
he's got boots. Are they going aggro with the Lich Weaver, maybe?
It seems like that might be the play. They've got Doom that's heading out towards the jungle. Interesting.
Well, they have no stuns, so.
Yeah,
it's
this
good.
is going to be really good. Again, like the only thing they could maybe do is try and set up something with the Elder Titan, but they're always going to be able to Sakuchi away, and until they get to the later stages, I guess the question is, are they going to have enough to burst through this Alk? Like, as the game goes on, can they actually like be aggressive enough and take towers and shut him down to the point where he doesn't just become that like behemoth that we see in the late game?
It's probably all on Flea, really. Mr. Francis.
30 seconds to
It's going to get that Desolator up. What about other minus armor? They won't have any source other than the Swarm. That's a little bit worrisome. Just trying to, typically the solution that you look for towards the Alchemist. Another great reason just to pick up the slider for yourself, even. Guaranteeing that Mike didn't get a hand on that, because that could have been good.
Another thing that I always think about when I go back to this is we're going to see a little bit of a battle. The Chinese side, they would play the Weaver and get a early Radiance on him to sort of counter out and do a lot of damage, because you're never going to really be able to shut him down in lane. That's the other way that they could go with it. But yeah, they're going to send Mike up here to the top. Doom is going to be in the jungle, and that means that it's going to be the Lich Weaver in the aggressive off lane.
I like it. Think of it like you're a Doom Lich, but with the Weaver. We've seen this a couple times, where if you see a situation like some teams even run an off-lane player like on the Weaver, and they kind of still take a normal position one, and they just get a little bit greedy. Maybe if you have a really controlling mid like a Puck or something in this case. But here will be Francis. Comes down here. And with the help of this Lich, no real stuns. Like, what are they going to do? Yeah, Disruptor's great against Weaver once he's 6, but that's of no concern in this laning phase.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious if it's also, you can sort of think about it a little bit like the Lone Druid in some ways, where BSJ, he's not going to be able to do the best against the Swarm as those levels start to get up. He's probably going to take a good amount of damage, and you need to be pretty careful. He's somewhat vulnerable to that, only having the 1 armor in the laning stage. So we'll see if they're going to be able to punish this a little bit, but already taking a lot of damage, Frost Blasts, and the Sakuchi through. It's difficult.
Yeah, meanwhile, top lane, Mike's just trading right-clicks as much as he can with Sovereign, and now even Eagle coming out of the jungle to try and lend a hand here. But that's the thing about Omni Knight, is that you can start manning up on them, and your own nuke, obviously you're going to be healing yourself, so very favorable trade for yourself whenever you're just punching. And Sovereign, once he has the actual sprint up, he should be able to make movements away from Mike whenever he tries to go for that purification. Just because you're so slippery, but already as well into that degen aura.
God, that's so frustrating to play against. You do see that the Lich has come mid for the moment, and Puck is taking a good amount of damage here in the mid lane. You got to be really careful, and that's going to be the trade-off of the salve to get him back up towards full. And unfortunately, there's not a great way to try and punish this Weaver whenever that Lich leaves the lane. Like, they're still comfortable continuing to farm away here. It's all hunky-dory.
Yeah, Alchemist is one of the few heroes that Puck really has some trouble with in the mid lane too, which is kind of funny because you don't really expect him to like dominate too many matchups, but Phase Shift is just totally worthless against the way that mid Alch is played. He never goes for the concoction anyway, so you can't do anything against Acid Spray, and you're just forced into this like passive farming scenario with no real kill potential without a serious support rotation.
Yeah. I'm also seeing here as well that they're starting to rotate down the side. Eagle does have that Invis rune, and Infernal Blade is up and ready to go. If they want to try and battle into this, they're going to go for a second at least onto these heroes. There's going to be Frozen caught out for the moment. They're going to trade a couple more right clicks, and a nice stomp saving the day. The very end, Frozen's away on 20 HP. They might still be able to kill off this Elder Titan here, and that is going to be first blood going the way of Eagle. Doing it big right off the start.
Yeah, I like this. A little early rotation down here, applying this pressure. They're already seeing they're starting to get some advantage here. And knowing Frozen's so low, they just go right on BSJ.
Jeez, there is no response at all. And what do you do at that point? They're also going to not be able to hit the stomp. They're going to be able to kill off Frozen again. Please, just going to not stop at all. And still alive. They're going to trade up a couple more hits. They're going in one by one. This is a freaking problem. Eagle is going to be able to run away for the moment. Scorched Earth has already been popped. There's going to be the stomp. Going to connect at the end, but he doesn't actually have any points up to be able to bring him down. This should be a kill here. Turns around, hits one time onto that Elder Titan, and that's going to be good. But man, the aggression from Team Freedom.
Yeah, just knowing as well that there's like nothing you could... Like, what are you even going to do at this point? They have no way to punish you diving those towers.
Yeah.
A little bit sad that Doom goes down, but he'll have his Tranquil Boots down, and he's going to head top lane, apply that same pressure. Oh my god, that Purify. It's only level 2.
That's so much damage.
Sovereign. He has to be so careful. If he sprinted too, that bonus damage.
He does end up going for the salve now. He's going to come and see if he can try and secure this top rune. It's going to be another bounty going the way of Alchemist, so Again, pretty nice as far as the amount of gold he's going to be able to get, but they're chasing now onto Jubei. Can they find the kill? They do have the glimpse, going to pull him back. He's going to have to run back the other direction and might even need to deny himself to Roche. Does he jump back the other way? He's going to be able to chase out there, and I think that he goes down now. They're going to see if they can make something happen here, but yeah, nothing doing. Now the bugs on top of a couple of these heroes. Sunbai is very low. Going to be able to maybe see if they can find one. That's going to be the kill as Disruptor ends up being able to take down the Weaver. Looking for more up on the high ground. The silence and the kill. Really nicely done. Oh my god, he's so low. He had to phase shift away from those neutrals. ESJ looks like he's going to be able to escape.
Sumbi? He's just like running right back into them. He's going to be really careful.
Oh my god. There's the salve. And Sovereign, yeah, he is... That was close.
What a daring rotation. Coming in that early with such little HP, but it works out. I think he picked up 2 of them. Or he only got 1 for himself, but he was there for the other.
Windlace, Tranquil Boots, Doom. Just run at people.
Yeah, he just needs that like casual buckler. The new school Doom, it seems to be.
Yeah. It looks like up top is going to be the next point of contention as Mike is starting to push this in. Level 6 currently. He's got that degen aura, and if he's able to get into range, this is definitely going to end up being a dead hero. There's going to be the purification from the other side. Looking for the stomp. Is going to be able to get it. Eagle in a lot of trouble. Dove deep for that one, and he's going to pay the price. Disruptor kills him off. That was very dare dive.
Yeah, you can't be doing that versus Elder Titan. That is one of those things. A little thanks purge moment, but towers do not deactivate sleep. So you get slipped underneath the tower, they're just going to pelt away at you until you're dead.
In mid lane, it's just the Slardar here. They do have Dream Coil if they want to drop it, and looks like they're not for the moment. They're just going to call off the charge and feel comfortable with where they're at.
Mid lane, how is this farm going for Mr. Optimus anyway? Slayer's in the jungle, doing his thing, got 2 points up in the Grievel's Greed, heading into that early armlet that everyone does these days. And it'll be up shortly. Man, he's going to be hard to bring down. So I guess the big question is how farmed is Francis going to be able to get?
Well, and what item build does he end up going? I mean, the classic option would just be Lincoln's, but I don't know if that's really the build this game, given what they need him to do.
I think it has to be, yeah, I think it has to be the Deso. He needs to get off to a good start. Like if it's, well, if he gets off to like mega good start, you go Lincoln's. If he gets off to like average start, he goes Desolator. And if he gets off to like really bad start, he might have to go back for the Lincoln Sphere. That
was too bad for Eagle. A little bit unlucky. He came out right as the creep wave was spawning, so he's might have been able to find a kill there onto the Slardar who was hanging out nearby, but no such luck. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Flea is still here, taking a lot of damage, but they're going to be comfortable trading this out if they can get this mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I like what Slayer's done. He just sees all the pressure mid, knows he can't really fight. He's just a farm and gold machine. That's what he's built to do, so he'll just come down and apply some pressure here. Dangerous under the tower with no ultimate, though. Ooh. Especially with a puck.
Stomp doesn't connect. Yeah, and they're going to be fine. Bottom, they're still continuing to toss on out that acid spray.
They're bringing the Doom. They're going to TP the puck and just use Dream Coil. This is like so risky.
This is going to be a little bit scary. There's going to be the jump forward. They end up being able to catch there onto Slayer. He gets his ultimate off. Going to try and TP away. Can they find the hit? No! Oh. He gets away. Oh my god, that base attack time. They do get the tower in the top lane because that's Mike. And he's just going to run at fools, but I think that he is going to be able to escape from this one. No, glimpse back. He didn't have repel. Oh, Mike, he needs to run away from him for the moment. Does still have that soul ring as well as a salve. Going to try and run away for the moment. Is going to be able to get off that purification, and that should mean that he's able to get out of there.
Yeah, what a hero. Jeez, that bottom lane, that was so risky. Like, there's nothing a puck loves more than seeing people underneath the tower before you have blink. Sovereign, nice crush. Living.
Yeah, he should be good.
Oh, Jubei so close to that Frost Blast level 2 as well.
Would have been nice. No such luck, but it looks like the tier 1 is going to end up falling down here in the bottom lane. Orchid, or not Orchid, excuse me, Urn looks like it might be what Weaver goes for, potentially. Or he's just the casual 2 gauntlets of strength. Frozen's going to die. He ends up going down.
Yeah, Urn's a really good starting item for Weavers that want to go right into the Desolator, because your Lincoln Sphere obviously gives you a lot of that mana regen, but Urn can make up for that a little bit and still let you get aggressive a lot quicker.
He's chasing BSJ down here. Isn't going to be able to find the kill as he jumps inside the Wildling Ripper. Also worth noting that the passive from Omni, Degen Aura, no longer goes through spell immunity, so a nice little buff there for the Lifestealer dealing with IX Mike. Oh? Flea? They've got the minus armor on the Slayer. He's
They've
taking a
got
lot of
coil.
damage. He needs to get out of there, and they're actually going to be able to drop the coil, still staying alive for the moment, but they're going to be able to catch and kill. They kill off the Disruptor, but not at all worth it for that Weaver.
Oh, yo.
And they think that they also lost the Lich as well. Oh my god.
Somebody actually goes for the Midas. A little bit of a more classic item here, but he just got so farmed. Like, these rotations have been kind of random. Like, he just got 2 kills. He's pretty high up in terms of overall net worth, and I guess they've determined that this game's going to be going a little bit later up against Slayer. Not going to be able to get that nice early tempo that you might hope for, and they're just going to build enough damage to kill the Alchemist, not worry about him, and slowly kind of pace out this game and take it. And so Midas will be the way to go.
I mean, they've got Iron Talon up on Sovereign as well, so I don't know. It kind of
Really
feels like
going to delay that blink though, because he still has to go Veil.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. It definitely, they must be thinking about playing this game in a different way than we're seeing right now. But it feels like going late against this lineup of enemy is just so scary. I mean, you've got like a bunch of Aghanim Scepter upgrades. You've got a Life Stealer who's going to hit so hard. We'll see. End up being able to get the stomp off, and doesn't look like they're going to chase too much further. As again, BSJ getting his farm on. He's almost got that armlet. Did you do it again? Are you gone?
No, I'm just thinking. Don't worry.
Okay, no problem.
I'm actually, I'm not talking to nobody this time. No, just looking over general item builds and everything like Sovereign. He's not even going right for the Tranquil Boots. He's actually just going straight into the Blink Dagger. So it's just kind of making me think like how aggressive they're looking to be getting. They've got a smoke up in the mid lane. BSJ, once he hits level 11, like he's going for his own armlet build.
Oh god, they know that this is happening.
Shenanigans.
This could be a little bit of a scary one. Looking for the sleep. They've already got actually the repel, but it's about to wear off on the Weaver. There's going to be a Dream Coil onto several. Silence comes out as well. A lot of damage going their way, and Slayer is going to get chased down. He manages to get his ulti off. Already doomed BSJ. He did not have his armlet, so that means that he's going to end up being just getting that normal tick down. But I think that he still does end up dying here. That Gemini attack comes through. They find the kill. Looking for Slayers. Well, he's got such little armor because of all those bugs on top of him, and he finally ends up dropping down. There was the kill, and now also sticking around is going to end up being the Elder Titan. 4 dead for absolutely nothing. Team Freedom. My god.
That's something else. So this is like when you've been seeing the Veil come out, people were kind of like, why are they building Veil? Like, oh, you can farm a little faster, but Puck can't do anything with a Blink Dagger. And now you're at the point where you're like, oh, I can just buy a Midas. I don't need a Blink. It's fine. Sumi's just making plays, man. Still farming so much. And this Omni Knight, Mike's just spamming heals.
Yeah.
Wind-laced Dota. Everyone's just running around so fast. Got this early, the Blightstone onto Jube. It's like, we can take Roche. It's fine.
That was kind of a funny little build there. The 2 armor direction, why not? He's also going to be able to place down a couple more of these wards, put his team in a really solid position, and they have taken a pretty commanding lead of this game. 5,000 net worth lead with right around 3,000 experience, but more importantly, these items that are going to start to come up. You've got the Puck that went Midas, and not only were you not punished, you also were able to get a 12-minute Blink Dagger on top of it. Like, they are in such a great position.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense, too. Like, you've already taken those tier 2 towers, just grab your Blink Dagger up. Don't really worry about the Veil. It's okay, I know it's not slot efficient, you don't have a TP, but he'll go back and probably drop a null for one and then pick up the Veil in a bit. But they have the armlet finished now. How far? Oh man, Slayer is actually still so farmed though. It's you know, you kind of miss him up at the top of that chart. I see all this red, but there's a little bit of green peeking out at the top. So if he gets Radiance, how can that turn these fights? The mischance can be on Francis like permanently. That's a little bit of an annoyance, but he'll just get repelled. So haha.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. Also worth noting that Weaver having the Aegis, I don't think that he's going to feel uncomfortable diving into these fights pretty deep. I mean, also just the natural survivability that hero brings to the table. Dire do end up using their scan, and somehow they realize that that's where Slayer's at. But he's going to TP away, and this is going to be a little bit of a failed rotation, unfortunately. They don't see that it goes green either.
Yeah, they actually had no one like showing on the map. If you actually went to Darside Vision, they don't see anyone bottom. So I think they thought it was the entire team.
Why? They actually just missed the courier. They
Oh no, they got it. They got it. Francis.
Right. That's actually going to be the relic
That's
too.
the relic. Oh my god.
That really hurts. Oh man, they know that's the relic too.
Lord. The value. Who placed that? I'm just going to assume it
It was
was
probably
Jubei.
Jubei.
What a player. Jubei Dota, ladies and gentlemen.
My first instance watching him play was when the Aghanim Scepter Nyx just came out, and he was playing Rubik and stole the like dig animation, and literally all he did in FPL was just dig up and down over and over again, like moving through the map, just doing that. NA Dota.
I was thinking Jubei just being like a total IO god, where like every FPL game they're just ban out IO. It's like the only person, him and Crit. Oh, they're playing ban IO. I don't want to play against that.
Well, mid lane now. We're going to be seeing the Weaver dive pretty deep for this one. The rest of the team right behind him. Again, you do have Aegis up and going to go for the jump. Silence immediately going to be able to find that kill, but a little bit of a scary situation. They don't have anything to follow up the Static Storm, though. The Aegis drops, but they're pretty comfortable with that. Like, he's going to be coming back in a second. They're trying to split push to the best of their abilities with the Lifestealer, but nobody's home to defend this tower, and it is about to go down relatively shortly. They're going to end up trying to TP the Lifestealer back for the moment, but they've got the regen that's here throughout all of their natural heroes that do this. Repel onto the Doom. He's still got that ability ready if he wants. And that's a tier 3 dead at 15 minutes into the game. Double damage on Sunbei, and looking for the catch. Oh, really nice crush, though. Connects onto 4, the follow-up stun, as well as the Earth Splitter. They're going to be able to bring them all down. Mike is very low. He's going to be able to survive, and even through the most perfect of initiations, they still can't do it. Oh, maybe they're going to be able to find Flea. He does end up going down. The really nice silence, trying to find this at all, but it looks like they might have overstayed their balance a little bit too long. Mike trying to stay alive, but he ends up going down.
Puck is actually so slippery that somebody actually just juked Mike, because that orb was coming back in into the all 4 heroes who were all low, and I saw Mike turn like, yo, I'm going to purify you, and then Simbi didn't jaunt to it, and he just kept running, and then Mike's like, oh shit, and then he died.
A little bit of a weird situation here, too. The Doom just finished off the Veil. The Puck has the Veil, too. There was a miscommunication.
Oh yeah, that is a little bit unusual. It's kind of like the new NA build. Everyone's building this Veil Doom thing. I don't know. It's happened in my pubs too, but I see it in like every NA game as well. I don't think it's made its way to Europe though. I'm still seeing Drums and Vlads over there.
No. I mean, I kind of like the idea of going for the Veil on the Doom, but I guess the other thing that you could say about this to some extent is that, like, Puck is going to want to try and clear out the creep waves, and you can do that with the Veil much more quickly, and then you don't have to have the Doom around, so you're always going to have it up for team fights. But, I mean, it seems like Drums or, you know, a mech would have been much better, although mech you wouldn't really have the mana for it anyways. Yeah,
it might just be, like, items that they're used to having, guaranteeing that they get off. You're not always going to be hitting a 5-man Veil anyway, really. Oh. Well, there's a Radiance, so they went with the beat the Alp draft.
Oh my god. They just jump in. They are not even afraid at all, and they get the mech to keep them alive for the second. Going to be able to drop low. They kill off the Elder Titan. Sunbei is going to end up getting controlled for the moment, but right now they do not have any follow-up after the Static Storm. So they're just going to right-click down these barracks, and this is going to be potentially a 17-minute lane of racks going the direction of Team Freedom. They're backing out as the TP comes in from the Lifestealer. They don't want to get too far forward. Mike controlled for the moment. There's going to be the Static Storm. Doom is dropped, though, and that's actually going to be a self-stun. They've also dropped down the Veil, and it looks like they're going to have to call it off now. They really want to be able to finish these off. There's the jump forward as well as the glint blacks, and that's going to be the jaunt away. The jump follow-up stun, though, from Sovereign. This might be what they need. The Chain Frost is going to be too big, though. It's just between the two of them. BSJ running away, but ends up being able to get out of there. They've also caught Eagle. There's the follow-up stun. Earth Splitter is not going to connect, but Eagle is still going to go down, trying to jump back in. Sunbei finds another one. That's an unstoppable streak for him, but I think that they're going to have to call it off. Again, they don't finish off the racks. 2 heroes dead for Freedom, 3 for EnemyGG. And if they would have either focused the range or all focused the melee, I feel like they might have been able to get one of those.
Yeah, it was a little bit of an ambitious initiation, I'd say, as well from Sinbi. Like, they had the wards, so it was like, oh, I see 2, I get a coil, but there wasn't, like, enough follow-up. By the time everyone else was there, the coil's gone, and they just back away, so you lose that big, like, driving factor behind your actual high ground siege. And Jubei, he's kind of deep down here, but it doesn't look like... I mean, he can just TP, I suppose, so BSJ can't really do anything about him. Now, Sovereign can, however.
That's gone. That's very true. Yeah, you got to be careful there. I really like the Force Staff pickup, though, again, by Jubei. You've been looking at the way these team fights have gone, and it's been really close to, like, almost disastrous for Freedom. If Enemy had a little bit more farm, it would have been an issue, but I'm still seeing a scary situation ahead for EnemyGG if they can't sort of stem the flow. Like, if Slayer dies at this point, it's really hard to come back into it.
Yo, have you seen this ward? It's
Where's
a
that?
Smeevil on a stick. At the Radiant, it's a Smeevil who's like juggling. What? Yo, how much money does that cost?
All right, I got to get back to the fight. You're throwing me off, MotPax.
Dude, this is important. He raged. It's fine. Oh, like, what? How expensive is this?
Oh, they're looking.
Bottom tower is under
I'll keep an eye on the Smeevil.
All right,
and
sounds good.
Just keep an eye on the rest of the game.
right.
In case you're wondering, he's golden.
All
He's
right.
currently juggling. Oh, wow, he's actually standing all 3 balls on his head. Incredible.
That's impressive. That takes commitment.
Is there still a Dota game going?
A little bit, kind of.
Okay.
It's questionable.
It's
I mean, you
So
look.
you call it when Alchemist is in the game. Any game with a Radiance, honestly. This item is like the #1 causer of problems and annoying heroes in Dota 2.
It really is.
It's like Tinker and then everyone who buys Radiance. That's pretty much it. That like really narrows down the field when it comes to annoying shit.
instructions.
Oh, they might try and come back and actually deal with this Alchemist. You've got... Oh, no, they're not. They're going to go for Roche instead. Unfortunately, Weaver wasn't with them through the start of this. He does have that Desolator finished off as well. So this is going to go down relatively quickly as the minus armor is going to start to stack up. Dire uses the scan, realizes that they're not coming to contest. They're going to get the Aegis again on the Weaver. And now, with the Desolator, they should be able to take down this mid lane of Barracks a little bit more quickly than we saw last time, if they want to go that route.
Yeah, it's hard when you're going into that first big item build for the Weaver. Like, you just feel so useless in comparison to when you actually get it. The power spike is just so immense. So, building shouldn't be too much of a problem this time. As Sunbee's just holding like 3k gold.
I'm kind of curious what he's
Just
going to go into next.
And like Yule's is the go-to item, especially just because like the Disruptor could try and make some plays. You're not going to have any sort of a Lincoln Sphere or anything like that. So probably Yule's, and then the other option would be your Dagon or the Boots of Travel. Wouldn't be too bad just in the current situation of like the lanes and everything and keeping things under control with the Alchemist.
And interestingly enough, also, we see Lifesteer coming on here toward the Ancients, and he doesn't have a Radiance, but he still hops inside. That's the play.
Yeah, you wish it was the Dragon because you can farm just so fast with that thing.
Right.
Nice, it'll be the Dagon. This is good for snowballing and trying to eliminate someone like that Disruptor would be the ideal target right away.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen a couple of times where he's jumped in and almost been able to find a really clutch kill, and just hasn't quite been there. So if he's capable of finding a really good initiation, they can potentially just blow somebody up.
But what about Slayer though? 5k, man. That Manta style, it's coming out soon. He'd be spamming the waves. What do they have to deal with that? It's not all that much, you know. It's a Vanguard mech Omni Knight. He loves fighting.
Yeah, hey, does he go into Crimson Guard at this point, potentially? Or what are we going to end up seeing out of him? Is it thinking about trying to... I don't even know.
Abyssal Omni Knight? I don't think so.
Or no, Crimson Guard.
No, I know. I was just picturing
Oh,
it myself.
Abyssal,
Because,
yeah.
you know Vanguard, and it's shenanigans.
He's-
Yeah, no, it'll be the Crimson Guard. You are correct. He is just the walking fountain defensive man.
He cares
he
about
needs
his
a-
teammates.
Oh, is that what it is? IX Mikey, sure?
Maybe. I'm not exactly sure. Again, it feels a little bit strange at this point, though, that the game might start coming a little bit out of their control. Like, they're still getting these items to snowball and to fight, but, you know, Dagon, notorious for falling off in the later stages of the game. They need to be able to find some type of a pick, but EnemyGG are just on top of it every time. They're heading out, making sure that they're not going to get caught, and they're doing fine for now.
Yeah, a little bit of a timer right now. Try and make some good use of this Aegis, right? Like, do they have any other big items coming? Where's my current gold count? Who's buying something here? Okay, it's just the Weaver again. Man, he is mega rich.
Yeah.
So, Francis, can he get into like a BKB before this fight? I don't think so. Probably a Lincoln's game anyway. Yeah, this is a pretty solid Lincoln's game. Well, BKB is actually pretty sick.
I think that being able to deal with the mischance, and then also, like, after the fact, if they try and jump on top of them with the glimpse back from the Disruptor, you can BKB that off. That seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
kind of like how much faith
Up
do you have in
top,
Mike?
though, they kill Asumbe, and unfortunately, that's what ends up happening. We talked about it before. The ability to infest with the Blink Dagger on Sovereign, they find a really high target kill, and I don't think that you're going to be able to see Freedom do anything with this Aegis now.
No, it's only looking that way. 45 seconds of no puck, and they want to try and capitalize mid. There's no backdoor. They could just try and force down this tower, especially if one more kill comes out. Radiant side vision. Hey, don't see anyone yet.
Oh, they're looking. They're going to be able to spot out Eagle here. He's got to be careful. They're all right here, and there's going to be the jump forward in just a second. Crush comes out as well as the amp damage, and he is going to drop. Oh, man. Things falling apart a little bit here for Freedom. This is the scary stage in the game. Alchemist 7,000 gold ahead.
I mean, we talked about, like, what do you have up against this split push?
Tower has fallen.
I don't know. It's not looking like too much. They don't have any AoE, like, clear whatsoever. Just Veil, Puck, I suppose. They really needed that first couple pushes to go well, but the melee racks is fully regenerated up now. And, of course, the Aegis is now gone. Well, in just a moment, I should say. 30 seconds, but... I'd like to see them try and go for some push down mid.
It's a little bit of a hard thing to ask them to do at this point, too, because, like, every little bit that EnemyGG just keep on, you know, pushing out the creep waves and delaying the game, I feel like it favors them so much more. And Freedom, they need to try and hit a window, but unless they're able to get a pick, that's not really in the cards.
Under attack.
Like, I don't even know if they go down mid right now, what do you do against that? There's going to be the Aegis expiring. Like, if you go down mid, you're going to lose one of these towers on the side.
Yeah, this Alchemist pick was really solid. They can't quite seem to punish it, so they're going to be... Oh, man. If they get, like, some Boots of Travel up, maybe they can just get someone to hold them in place. What about Initiation from the Doom? Maybe that's the next key, like, itemization that could be coming out here. He looks to be going for the pipe, so that'll be, let's just run up the hill. I like that, too. And that'll allow them to try and brute force their way in, but... If they don't have a way to actually guarantee dooms onto these key targets in either the, I think, Disruptor... Actually, Slider has a pretty solid doom target, too, just because of how many crushes you can get off in a single fight. Oh, man, there it is.
Oh, jeez.
The old Octarine Core, and, well, we talked about Diffusal Blade Carrier. It's okay, we'll just put it on BSJ.
Yeah, it's still not the biggest deal against the Weaver, but obviously the main thing is going to be that Omni Knight and all this stuff that he brings to the table. But he's more than just a repel at this stage in the game. You know, he's got himself the Crimson Guard now. He's got the mechanism. You still want to make sure that he's capable of not getting picked off at the very start of the fight, but I don't know. I'm looking also up top here. It looks like Weaver is going to end up going into MKB as he wants to go aggressive. Oh, meanwhile, on the other side, though, BSJ is up in the middle of all of them, but has he overextended a little bit? They're going to try and do as much as they can. There's also going to be the Guardian Angel for the moment, and Static Storm down. It doesn't look like anything has come of it as of yet. Doomed up BSJ. He's still able to survive through this, and they're in a lot of trouble right now. Nice repel to take that one off. It looks like they're going to have to call it good. Eagle is going to end up dropping. They've lost another. Oh, this is really not good for Team Freedom. They've been able to kill off the Slaughter, but now Sumby's caught. He doesn't have any ability to do this. Nice phase shift away at the last second, and maybe going to be able to blink out of there. He ends up going forward again. Force staff from Jubei, keeping him alive, and they are going to be able to get out of there, I believe, as there's no stun to... Oh, they do end up being able to catch Jubei. So, again, this is such a scary position to be in. They have to have the Weaver in these fights.
Yeah, not getting anything done with that Aegis. That was kind of their last big, like, we're still in the advantage, I feel like. If they had actually marched down mid with that Aegis, gotten that chance, but really great pickoff by Enemy onto Sunbee's what kicked us all off, but looks like they'll get at least one back here. It's going to be pretty hard to shake this Weaver with the bug on him.
Yeah, that was nice. Really well executed. Very, very well executed. And now it looks like as well you've got, as you mentioned, the Octarine Core on the Alchemist.
I wonder if he goes AC, like, well, there's nothing that advantageous. If they were feeling pressured, yeah, I think he just buy AC first and then start dishing out those Aghanim Scepters.
I really like the MKB pickup for the Weaver. I think that this is what they need. Like, he's going to now start to have a pretty ridiculous amount of damage. The only thing that they really need to be careful about is BSJ with the Diffusal Blades, and he's got 6 charges left, so that being said, if they can find him right at the start of this would be huge. All wrapping around, looking for the catch. He should realize that, you know, everybody's missing from the map, but not going to end up jumping on him.
Mike needs to just be like sitting on top of Francis the whole time and just throwing out repels nonstop, trying to keep him up and magic immune, and make sure he's not going to be controlled up by that disruptor when he's building none of these defensive items.
Well, we'll see if he's going to be able to make it happen. Again, such a high damage hero. They've got the DD rune that's up here on the top lane. If Weaver knew about that, I think that they would definitely be going up there and trying to make something happen with it, because that is one of those game-changing items. But it looks like for now,
Take 2, maybe?
EnemyGG, they've just, I mean, they've got everything that they want. You've got the puck that's, buffing up this Dagon. Like, if they can find a pick, either killing off the Slardar or, dooming him and then going on the Disruptor, it's pretty strong, but I don't know. And again, like, they pinged out that this smoke is coming. Like, they should realize that this is going to be going down this direction.
Scan. Oh, is that dire scan? Oh my god, he was so close. I guess it would have just been him. Oh, BSJ. No. Oh, BSJ.
He's running.
Guys, he's over here.
Force from afar, not quite in range for the Doom, and trying to get a little bit of extra movement speed. He's getting out of there. He's just on the edge, and there's going to be the rage away. Jumps inside of a creep. Oh, God. Is he just going to be able to walk away from this one? Oh, my God. Hide. All right. He came out. And
He would have just been dead at the wave.
yeah. Well, they find the kill, nonetheless. And that's something going their direction.
That's actually huge, because they can open up a Roshan too, which is back up. So they can start looking towards that as their next goal. And maybe now with this pipe now up on the Doom, they can actually take this Aegis and march down mid and try and get themselves a set of racks. It's certainly not going to be game over. There's no question there. They need a hell of a lot more this game because of how farmed this Alchemist is, but it's a start.
Yeah. I mean, you look at him, he's 14,000 net worth ahead of the next two heroes in the game. Like, Puck and Weaver don't have his net worth. It's so hard for them to actually make this happen, and I guess the one thing I would say also is that with these fights, they didn't go the way of Freedom throughout the last couple of minutes, but that's also been without the Weaver really taking part in them. So that's the other thing that is sort of going their direction. This is going to be Sunbay in a little bit of trouble, is going to blink away, and it looks like Alchemist is going to stun himself. So Roche going the direction of Freedom. We'll see what they can do with it.
Jeez, Sovereign, so risky. Just like blinking, crushing, force staffing away. And now he'll TP home. Alright, here we go. No defensive items, so we just give yourself the Aegis for Francis. And march on down that mid lane.
What's the next play for him? Do you think you can go more damage after this, or what do you think for Mr.
I'm
Weaver?
kind of back to liking the BKB. You just can't rely on it all the time from the repel, I think.
Yeah, that's true, and particularly with the Diff Blade online. Like, he hasn't used any more of those charges as of yet. But we'll
I like
see.
the Shiva's Guard from Slayer. The fact that we've seen a lot of Alchemists go for this lately just because AC is also great because you get more minus armor to synergize with your Acid Spray and, of course, for sieging buildings, but they're at a point where they're not really going high ground, right? It's mostly about the defense. And
Oh, Mike, he
nice.
almost got the repel off previously and had to use it the second time.
But Octarine Core is balanced around a cooldown. So any item that's balanced around a cooldown, get a
Shiva's
major
Guard, you mean?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, Shiva's Guard balanced around a cooldown. So anytime that you're using an item with a cooldown, then you're getting like more value out of it than something like an AC.
Well, again, Lifestealer is up front and center, ready to hit away at these buildings inside of the Ancient. And there's not a great answer for them. It looks like they're all going to converge on this area, though. And if they could get a solid initiation, if they're capable of finding one of these heroes... Oh, my God, that scan, though. That scan, they're looking. They want to try and catch this one. There's going to be the glimpse away. They're able to bring him very low, and that is going to end up being the kill. Mike controlled for the moment. Might think about jumping out here on the Lifestealer, but hasn't done it as of yet. The Shiva's Guard disengaged. There's the repel looking for the catch. Not going to be able to find it as of yet, but with the Disruptor down, this might be enough to make them think about trying to pressure this. But again, the Alchemist, he cuts down the creep waves, and he's still hitting the tower.
And he'll just keep this top lane going. I don't know, somebody's like now up here, but he doesn't have bots, so he can't just like push and then just suddenly be back in mid lane. He has to go back home, he has to get mana, and that's once again just going to stifle their push. 30 full seconds winning a fight here, and you still can't make any sort of a push into the mid lane. Just shows how difficult this Alchemist is to deal with right now. And there's our first Aghanim Scepter. being careful to make sure he's saving some money for the buyback, but
I'm assuming that this goes to Disruptor. Like, it
that's
has
the
to, right?
obvious choice in a lot of ways, yeah. Unless they want to be like really cheeky or something with the Lifestealer.
The Elder Titans one isn't terrible. You end up being able to get a 5-second disarm that comes in, and of course that does pierce BKB, so pretty strong. And I think that the disarm goes through BKB as well. It's one of the few things that actually does that. I could be wrong about that, though. You don't see Elder Titan Aghanims all that often.
Well, you know what does go through BKB?
What's that?
They disrupt their ultimate once
Yeah.
you get the Aghanim Scepter. So that's what they handle on over to. As he puts down another fancy ward. Shiny. Golden. What's his companion level?
Oh my god. Alright,
Mid
well,
lane. Oh, there's a Lifestealer in there. You just can't see him.
they can't get inside of it. Again, the damage that they have is pretty significant when the Weaver's there to try and do it, but he's down bottom right now, looking to try and make something happen. 3,200 gold on this guy. Do you ever think about going back for like a Rapier or something on this Weaver at some point, or do you think it's just worth it to try and go for the straight up defensive stuff? Like, I feel like they just need damage out of
It's kind of
them.
in the cards at some point for sure. Like
Yeah.
you can't really rule it out depending on how bad this gets.
Oh, actually, he's going to jump out to a good amount of damage to that Weaver as well, and that's time lapse down for 35 seconds. He still does have Aegis, but Lifestealer jumps inside. He's inside the Slardar. If they're capable of getting a really good initiation, this could be deadly, and it looks like, recognizing this, Freedom are going to back out. All right, let's talk super late game. How do Freedom look as this start goes? Like,
Super Mega or Super Mega Ultra?
let's just do
need
Super Mega for the
specifics.
moment. Like, is there going to be another time where Freedom are ahead? That's basically what I'm wanting to know. Because right now it feels like they're not anywhere near ahead enough.
It seems unlikely. I can't see one. No, there's no other time they'll be ahead.
Okay.
So this slightly they have now is just going to be dwindling down and down and down. If they, which I assume they can't, right? Like how much longer is this Aegis going to last? Yeah, it's over. This Aegis is done. They need big mistakes coming out from the side of enemy. I think if they just play a clean game, it looks like they have the heroes and the current lead to just be able to slowly push this one out.
Well, again, you do have Puck with the Midas there, and the pause comes as well. Apparently there's a little bit of lag going on. I mean, one thing that you always think about back in the day was like the Doom being able to get a refresher up eventually and dropping down 2 of those and taking 2 heroes out of the fight. Is that a possibility that we end up seeing later on down the line? Doom is he's not the least farmed hero in the map, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. He could get. He needs something, right? He's got to be able to doom this guy. Be it the. Well, do you even doom the alchemist?
I don't know. I think that the idea would be maybe Lifestealer if he's got his armlet on. You want to be able to take him out of the pool, but again, he's inside of an ancient creep this whole time. Puck is going to clear out this creep wave. Quick and easy there with the Veil. That was what I was talking about again. You have the Veil, so you're going to be able to make that happen, but the pings come back. They want to try and defend against this. Mike all alone at his tier 3s as the ancient Granite Golem continues to hit away. And now what do you do against this? Like, you've got Radiance, you got the Granite Golem there. They're trying to cut through these creeps, but honestly, this is such a difficult situation to be in. They're going to be able to throw out those bugs, doing a good amount of damage for the moment, but the stun can come at any given point in time. They are able to get off that repel, and they just lose their tier 3 towers and nothing to stop it.
That doesn't bode well, does it? They just like walk up, take a tower, and they walk away, and you're left there sitting there Freedom going, oh shit. That's what do we do here, guys? Like, what's the play? Maybe the Rapier is a coming. It's Francis at 30-20. He's gone for the Dragonlance. Gonna increase that distance. Keep himself back. I like that.
Yeah, that's definitely not bad.
Stable item when you're already going all damage, right? Fully relying on that. God, they need a big pick. They just have no way of facilitating it, though. Okay, they have the Shadow Blade. Maybe that'll be enough.
I mean, it does feel like a lot of the way that these fights are going to go comes down to Eagle and the way that he gets the initiations off. If he's capable of finding somebody with the Shadow Blade and saying that, maybe they also, I mean, the bots, you've got him on the Weaver, you've got him on, who else?
The Puck has
The
them.
Puck.
He's been looking at those for a while. Yeah, they're mega important in this game versus the Alchemists. They use their scan just to make sure. I think that was a Radiant scan. I guess I can check the little thing. Oh, it was a Radiant scan.
I guess the other thing that they can also do is go for like this split push game. You know, they've got the bots. They can clear out the creep waves really quickly. Oh, the crush though. There's the Doom onto Sovereign, trying to get away from him for the moment. There's also going to be able to bring him down really low, but might end up having to trade this out as it looks like there's going to be the phase shift for the moment, trying to escape. They've been able to drop on down that static storm. That's a dead puck. And now the escape needs to happen. Jubei slightly overextending. They're going to throw out the bugs to dissuade them from going any further, and I think that this might be the end of the engagement.
So that ends up being a ever so slight victory for the Dire side, it looks like. But, I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter. Just 1 for 1.
Jubei needs a TP. Oh,
Yeah,
God,
dead.
he's glimpsed. Yeah, no real great
Ghost
way out of there for
Scepter,
him.
TP. Are they out of stuns?
Oh, my God. No, he got him.
That's close.
The stomp.
You know, if the stomp, yeah.
That was the gem that came out as well. So they lose the gem, they lose their Lich, they don't have the puck. This is going to be the bottom tier 3 going down in just a little bit, and I am very, very concerned.
Alchemist, man, that's why this hero was like first ban, first pick in so many games lately. He's going to town on these racks. Mike, what can Mike do? He can't do anything.
Yeah, he's
He's
really
got
hurting
magnets,
right now.
but
They've got the minus armor. They haven't been able to catch. There is a silence that comes out, catches onto several, but didn't end up dropping the Dream Coil. So for the moment, at least, they're not comfortable diving too much further forward. Eagle is going to be controlled for the moment. Didn't get out the Doom. It had already been used earlier. There's the silence. There's also going to be able to turn this back around. A lot of damage going. Frozen ends up falling, and Eagle eats the cheese. He's going to be able to survive through this for a moment. Still so tanky, and they're not going to be able to find that kill as of yet. BSJ trying to go onto him, but he's somehow staying alive through all of it. He ends up finally falling, and Mike trying to stay alive himself. They're also going to drop on out the Chain Frost. It's hidden between the Creep Slayer. So low. Armlet toggling for victory. Can he get out of here? It looks like they might be able to find this kill. He goes for the Mantis style, trying to escape, and I think that they can kill him off. Possibly Sovereign. He comes in, saves the day, but he goes down. Oh no. It's all gone wrong. A huge plays come out from Sovereign. They do finally kill off that Alchemist. The Doom comes out, and BSJ should just be able to either survive or get denied. They're looking for a little bit more. Sovereign, another huge stun. And I think that that might be about just all she wrote. Look at that one as well. Jumps through and is able to force staff down to the side. They are going to TP in onto this, and it looks like the barracks are going to be able to survive as well as the creeps were pushing. But all it cost was a buyback from the Doom, I guess? Did the buyback on the puck too?
nope. No, I don't think so. I think he was just out of it, so... oh, he bought back a minute and a half ago. So yeah, he did buy back. It was just that long ago.
Jeez.
Oh, that's right. He went down before it all started, so... Wow. Yeah, they got split up. Like, BSJ was in the base still, dealing with Mike, and meanwhile, down here, you had that whole engagement going with the Alchemist, so... It all started because that glimpse. That glimpse was not what they were looking at. Like, there was some lapse of communication there or something along those lines, because the Doom was, I'd say, a secured kill. They already did this slow going from the Lifestealer, and they were just kind of panic glimpsing him back, and then he got saved by Mike.
Yeah. It was so close to being like a really clean sweep. And, you know, you got the Aghanim Scepter now up also on Omni Knight, so this sort of global range that comes out, and I really like it. I'm kind of curious how this is going to be going forward. Sovereign is looking for a pick, potentially. He's actually just going to go on into Roche. They might realize that this is happening, though. They're walking in. If they can get a really nice Doom off, this is the play. Oh, the crush, it ends up connecting, as well as the stomp, though, and now they're all suddenly turning around. That's going to need to be an escape, as it looks like Doom is already dead. They couldn't take it. Oh, the force staff to the high ground, but he's still dead. Puck comes back in, able to kill off the Elder Titan, trying to TP away. Jubei should be able to escape from that one. No, never mind. He just gets right-click down. 3 are dead on the side of Freedom as Enemy take a really solid engagement around the Roche pit, and this might be about it.
Yeah, that's the kind of fight that we were looking at, right? With the general lead they had, and we kind of expected out this lineup. Oh, the cheese!
Oh.
But, you know, not going to see that in time. Probably be able to make some sort of a choice there from Sinby.
Again, there's like split push potential coming out from the Weaver. They haven't taken the other set of barracks. If they're able to execute really effectively again in those team fights, it's not the end of the world. And also Puck is now gaining Ags. He has it completed. Since he doesn't have buyback, he's going to buy out anyways.
Man. It's tough though. Everything's on Francis. He's the only source of damage that can actually kill this alchemist. They have nothing else that can do it. You have a Dagon puck. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a puck in general. You just can't do much against these high regen, like tanky cores.
Yeah.
He's great for controlling. That's his big old thing. But your other hero is an Omni Knight, which isn't one that's traditionally syncing up with something like a puck in the mid.
Well, they're smoked for the moment, and it looks like they want to try and take the fight to them potentially. Okay, he goes forward, throws out the Frost Blast, and
That gem's just still chilling there. Guys, it's a bait. The trap is laid.
oh, they've caught somebody though. He's gonna go down. They got off the Ag Scepter upgrade a little bit too late, and now Slayer. The Chain Frost is still bouncing, but I don't think that they have the damage to make this work. Look at Eagle just go down. He ends up being able to get off that Glimmer Cape, so still alive for the moment. Hasn't committed the Doom as of yet, but they've been able to hit the Stomp, trying to keep him alive. Doom doesn't come out. They're able to break it before he can get that cast point off. Now they're gonna end up losing their barracks. The catch onto 2 again. IX Mike is gonna end up going down. The Ghost Scepter trying to keep them all alive, but they're gonna glimpse them right back in, and a second time through they end up being able to kill them both off. Freedom lose 4, and EnemyGG are going to start to try and push for it, and they might be able to take it.
They had their timing right, and they get up those high grounds. What was it, 14 and a half minutes or something around there, where they actually walked up into those racks, and we were like, all right, this is looking great. Like, they're beating the Alchemist, and it was just as the Radiance came out. And so this was that point where like the two heads are colliding, and you're like, who's gonna take this? And they just failed those 2 pushes in a row, and then we're into the Manta style, then we're into the Octarine, and you've got a Puck and an Omni Knight as 2 of your cores, and that is not the solution to the Alchemist. So trying to beat it out. A great 5th pick, fantastic 5th pick from the side of Enemy, and they won the coin toss and took 2nd pick. So coming in to show just like how crucial that final one has been in a lot of these later days.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in again, and we're going to move into game number 2. We'll see if they're going to ban out the Alchemist this time around. Don't want to have to play up against that. Again, Team Freedom versus EnemyGG, best of 3, single elimination. Who's going to run away with it? Stick around and find out. We'll have the game number 2 in just a few seconds.